Hello students and anyone else who may be watching from home. My name is Mr. Borges. Here we are again in TinkerCAD, ready to do our next lesson, which is die on the workplane. Right? And so I'm sure a bunch of you know, but maybe some of you don't. It's sort of the name of this project is a joke, right? They don't want you to die, right? A die is a name for when you have some dice. If you only have one of them, they call it a die. So this is the die that we're going to be building on the workplane. So in this project, it's going to be all about the work plane and how you can make it work for you. Right? We're going to be changing the work plane. This big graph paper that it's been sort of like the ground or something. We can stick that wherever we want, in whatever direction we want, to help us work in different areas. And that's what we're going to be doing in this project. So continue on to the next step. We're going to be reading the directions here, trying to help you guys make good habits for projects you're going to be doing in the future. So the die is almost done. Right? So the die, do you see that there's no die here? There's no die. So something went wrong, right? I don't know what went wrong. Maybe I was in here before. Something else. I don't really know. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know where it's at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spam click this to the end. Yeah, it throws stars, whatever. TinkerCAD's dumb. I think I'm done. And then I'm going to click reset. Are you sure you want to reset? Yes, I am. And when you do that, it gets you back to where you should have been in the first place. And that happens sometimes. There's no big deal. You can just run all the way to the end of the project and then give a restart so that you can get back to where you should have been in the first place. Okay, so continue on to the next step. Here we go. We're starting with a die that is almost done. You simply need to add the number 5 and 6. And what we mean by that, you can see that the 4 and 2 is already on there. And by right-clicking and changing the direction we're looking at our project, we can see that most of the numbers are already on here. Now I want you to see that the 2 sits flush with the edge. Number 2 is not sticking out. If you're going to roll this die, we don't want the numbers sticking out and clunking and bumping along. So when we add our 5 and our 6, we want to make sure that they are not sticking out. And I'm going to look at it from the side just like this, and I'm going to check, right? Is the 3 sticking out? I'm going to check by looking at it that way, and I don't want to see the 3 sticking out. So you know how I'm going to check it. Okay, so the die is almost done. We're starting with a die that is almost done. You simply need to add the 5 and the 6. So go ahead and use your mouse or the view cube to look around at the die. So we've already done that a little bit. You're going to see a number on all the other sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and continue on to the next step. So removing the work plane. So you can find the work plane tool in the top of the browser on the right hand side of the screen. It's right over here, the work plane tool. Right? It's just above the shapes. What we're going to do is we're going to drag the work plane to the front of the die. And you can see they're trying to show you where they want you to put it. Right? That white little spot right there is where they want you to put the work plane. So I'm going to grab the work plane tool and I am going to stick it. And you can line the white dot up right there, but really we're just putting it on this surface. Anywhere on this surface right here, it's going to change the work plane, right, so that it's on that surface. Now you can, right, you can imagine, so it's not that different than what we had before, but what we've got now is we're going to be able to get out a number 5 and slide it around on the work plane, and it's going to be, right, it's going to be lined up perfectly with that surface that we're going for. We don't have to worry about the up and down of the number. We're going to be able to just slide it around into the position that we want, and that's the idea. So we've dragged the work plane onto the front of the die. Now we're going to place the number 5, and they're showing you, right, there's number 5, that's where it's going to go. In the shapes panel, here's the shapes panel over here, we're going to change the shapes drop down to text and numbers. And there we go. Now we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the panel and find the numbers. They're listed just below the letters. Well, here's the letters. Right? Yep. It looks like there's another page here. We're going to have to go over there, I guess. Did you see the numbers? Ah, here they go. Numbers. And we want the number 5. So we're going to get out this number 5. And now as you can see, we're sliding it around on the work plane, which is nice because it's going to be perfectly lined up with the frontwards and backwards, right? And we're going to be able to just line it up the way we want by nudging it with the arrow keys now. And I think to get it the way we want it to go, we're going to have to change this snap grid. That's fine. We change this snap grid all the time. Just pick a lower number in there, and now we're going to be able to get it the way we want it. Something like that. Seems pretty good to me. All right. As you can see, it's way too much sticking out though. So we're going to have to fix that too. We're going to position it near the area that's highlighted in orange. Okay, so we've done that. And then because the 5 is sitting on the front of the die, we need to make some adjustments. Okay, so we're going to scale the thickness of the 5 down so that it's 1 millimeter thick. Okay, so we can do that by selecting, I have nothing selected now, by selecting the 5, right? We can see when I go to the white dot here, it's showing you that right now the 5 is 4 millimeters thick. It's too much, right? So we want it to be 1 millimeter thick. We're going to change it to 1 millimeter. There we go. Right, and then now when we look at it from the side, that is not sticking out at all, and that's what we wanted. Right, so when we roll this thing, it's not going to be bumping a bumpty bump along on the number that's sticking out. All right, it's pretty good. So you can change the snap grid. Oh yeah, we already did that. Yeah, it's a good idea anytime you're having trouble dialing your shape in. All right, to help position the 5, sure. Okay, so rinse and repeat. It just means you're going to do it again, right? So repeat the previous steps to add the 6 to the top of the die. Do you remember the steps? Right. First, we're going to drag the work plane to the top of the die. That's where we want the 6 to go. So we grab the work plane, drag it onto the top of the die. Now we're working on this surface. Right, the work plane, you can align it to the surface you want to work on. That's how you tell TinkerCAD, hey, I'm working over here now. Change the work plane, right? Then we're going to go to the next step. We're going to find the number 6. It's over here. And pull it out. Get to that highlighted area. I'm going to nudge it a little bit with the arrow keys. Something like that. Seems pretty good to me. Okay. Continue on to the next step. You can probably already guess what we're going to do. Make sure that the 6 isn't sticking out. So we're going to scale its height. This inspector window's in the way a little bit. We're going to scale its height to be 1 millimeter. It says right here in case you forgot, 1 millimeter. And then just check, make sure it's not sticking out or anything like that. Seems pretty good to me. And continue on to the next step. Now we're going to reset the work plane right back to its original position. So we're going to drag the work plane to a blank location in the work area. Make sure not to drop the work plane on a shape this time, right? So we're just going to stick it. There you go. Not on a shape. This is how you can reset the work plane. All right, right, because that's how it was before. You know, kind of like the ground or something. All righty. Now we're almost done. We just need to group shapes together. That's something you should know how to do by now, right? So this is an example. We don't want to go around shift clicking, shift click, shift click, shift click, all these different pieces. You can drag a rectangle around everything, select all, or you can use Control A to select all. That's another way to do it. And then click the group button on the toolbar to make this all one single shape. Right? That way, when we need to move it, if we're going to print it or export it into Minecraft or whatever, right? Everything, TinkerCAD, the printer, whatever, is going to know that this is one solid piece. Congratulations. It throws stars up in the air. That does not mean that you did it correctly, right? TinkerCAD does not know. So you're going to raise your hand. I'll come around and take a look and make sure, and I will. I'll peek at it from the side. I want to see that 6 is not sticking out. I want to see that 5 is not sticking out. I want to see that you did a kind of a nice job. Try to make sure that it was right centered as much as you could, that you did a nice job with it. That's what I'm looking for. All right, if it looks good, I'm going to be happy. If it's not, we'll help you get there, right? Just raise your hand. All right, so that's it for this one. Right, and that's it for the first 5. I think there might have been 6 actually, but that's it for the first few tutorials that we do for this one. So the next set that we're going to be working on next week, I'm going to be giving you a little less help. It's not going to be step by step like this in the videos, but I'm trying to show you all the different kinds of things that you should be doing. So I think the videos for the next week are going to be much shorter, just showing you a quick sneak peek at what it should look like when you're done, in case you're working at these from home. Alrighty, so that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.